let's go back on the record with Mr. Bradley here, and everyone else is here as well. You may proceed.
Mr. Bradley, did you use any documents to prepare for your testimony today?
No, I did not.
Last time you spoke with Gabe Banks.
The day that, I don't have the date, but it was the date of whenever the phone call happened.
And you know his wife, Kyra Banks, works for the DA's office, right?
Yes, correct.
When was the last time you spoke to Mr. Wade?
I haven't spoken to Mr. Wade personally in a year, 2 years actually, when I left the firm.
Miss Willis?
I never, my interaction with Miss Willis was never where I would pick up the phone and talk to her, or that she would, or anything like that.
So you didn't hang out with Miss Willis? You didn't have a personal relationship with her?
No, I never had a personal relationship. I mentioned before that I went to a dinner that was after she was elected. That was at a steakhouse, but it was some 75 to 100 people there.
So you knew of her, you just didn't have a business relationship or a personal relationship, but at least a close one?
I knew of her from she was in the DA's office and I had criminal cases, but I did not personally know her, no.
And not having known her, not really hanging out with her, you've got a contract from her office.
I'm going to just object as to cumulative after answer throughout the...
All right, Mr. Chair, I think we covered this ground on the 16th about the contracts. Are you going somewhere else with this?
I am, Judge. If you give me a little latitude, I'll try to write.
Okay, you may proceed.
You got a contract from the office not knowing or having a good relationship or a good working business relationship with Miss Willis.
That's correct.
That's because Nathan Wade steered that contract to you.
I don't know how it came about, but it was presented to me at the office about the contract, correct?
Who presented it to you? Mr. Wade?
Yes.
And he owed you money, you said at one point.
Say that again?
Owed you money at one point?
I don't recall saying that he owes me money.
Did he owe you money at one point?
Not that I recall saying that Mr. Wade owes me or owed me money. I don't recall ever saying that.
I didn't ask whether you ever said that. I said, did he owe you or did he owe you money in the past?
No, he didn't owe me money.
And so he steered this contract to you, to your office, and you weren't really talking to him? You hadn't talked to him for 2 years?
The contract was in 2021. I didn't leave until 2022.
And so you didn't talk with him that whole time?
I left in 2022. I haven't really spoke to him since 2022, is what I stated. When I left June of 2022, around June, August dates of 2022.
Other than one last question, other than your attorney, who did you speak with today about giving testimony in this case today?
I spoke to my attorneys, Charles Graham and B.C. Chopra.
And I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. And again, I'll just double check to make sure. Did Mr. Cromwell ever join us by Zoom? Do we?
Your Honor, I think he's still having technical issues. He did email me saying he has no questions. It appears that all relevant questions were asked.
All right, thank you. So just for the record, Mr. Cromwell has been apparently watching the proceeding. He had waived his client's presence and didn't have any other questions to respond. So turning it over to Mr. Rabbi.
And I have no questions.
All right. Mr. Bradley, you can step down. Thank you, sir.
Judge, you want these exhibits?
Excuse me. I have a follow-up based on some questions. It's just about the text.
And what just by way of proffer, what about the text?
Just to admit, so when other people asked about the text, some of them weren't in the record today, so I organized them. They're the ones that have been talked about today, so I just organized them. I just wanted for kind of reference to have them.
Okay. And do we need Mr. Bradley for that?
I don't believe so, but
Have you marked them?
yes.
Have you showed them to the state?
I gave a copy to the state, but so these
Mr.
are.
Bradley, just hang on just for 1 second, just to make sure.
I'll give you all of them. So.
Committing all of them.
You can.
And while he's looking at that, Mr. Bradley handed me Defense Exhibit 23, 24, 25.
Yes, I didn't realize that they were in my folder.
Oh, is that from the hearing?
Yeah.
From on Friday. Thanks for returning those. Let me make sure. Okay, so I've got 23, 24, 25. Anything else in your binder? Good. Okay, and have we come to any conclusions on, I'm sorry, how did you mark it?
I marked it as, I think we're up to 39. Surprisingly, the student.
All right, Defense Exhibit 39 is tendered and admitted without objection.
Well, no.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Text messages that weren't referenced today are confronted with
Okay.
as it relates to Mr. Bradley.
So these are additional text messages, Ms. Merchant?
No, so what I did was they objected that they weren't complete because like the first part of the text wasn't there. It was just like, oh, there was something before that was said. So what I did was I spent this whole time trying to line them up so that I had the beginning of the text, the middle, based on their objection. They have all the text. They can admit all of them if they want to complete.
All right. I'll just do this. Just I understand the desire just to have the complete text chain, just for purposes of completing the record. I think that there's no point in having him sit here and authenticate every single one of them. So I'm willing to admit it as a court's exhibit, and only the exhibits though that have been previously tendered or referenced in testimony would be ones that actually are relied on for making any findings. But just so it's on the record, we have the complete text chain should that ever be an issue for some reason. Any thoughts about that, Mr. Abadi?
My only thoughts are this is not the complete text chain. I was able to briefly look in Miss Merchant's phone, but she allowed us to have it for 30 seconds, minutes, and there are text messages I know that I saw that are not in what is reported to be State Exhibit 39.
Okay. All right. Ms. Merchant, what about that?
I let them take screenshots of the ones that they thought weren't there, and he sent them to himself on my phone. I have also offered to hook my phone up to whatever it is. My phone's an iPhone. His is an Android. I can't download like you could in a normal text. I told them if they had a system to get all of my texts, they could have every single one of them.
We can definitely do that.
Your Honor,
Yeah, Mr. Rice.
text that she's submitting now and tendering into evidence, they are specific parts of the conversation. The entire text chain is a continuous conversation subject to 601. Those particular parts, given the witness's testimony, should be admitted to substance evidence and prior inconsistent statements with this testimony today. It would be up to the government to state they then introduce the rest of it.
Yeah. Sure. I think that's a fair point that if he had been confronted with a particular text, that could have been the opportunity to admit it as a prior consistent statement for impeachment. And some of them were. But apparently some of them were not.
I'm taking those out. So I'm taking out the ones that they said he wasn't confronted with, and I'm just going to admit the ones that he was confronted with. And that's fine. It just makes it more confusing.
All right. So we have a newly marked, newly compiled 39. Let's see what the state thinks of
The
that.
ones that I showed you on the stand.
All right. Regardless if that's now what is being discussed, again, I don't see a need for Mr. Bradley to be here any longer, so we can excuse him at this point. Thank you, Mr. Bradley.
Judge, they would be.
Of course. Take care. Yes, that's right.
So that concluded part 5 in Terrence Bradley's testimony. I did not see where he gave up a whole lot of information. It was much to do about nothing. As it stands, Trump's lawyers really didn't get a lot of information out of him to throw Nathan Wade under the bus, nor Fani Willis. So I don't know if he's going to be called back, but that concluded Part 5. This audio footage is from 11 Live. On that note, I'm over and out. Don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. See you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.